to masalah sih introduction gitu. Hello everyone. Allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Diva Fauziah Ulya with the last student number 159, and my friend right here, what's your name?
My name is Icha Aida Puspitasari with 3 last digit number 091.
How about you, Amel?
My name is Puspa Dwi Amalya with the last 3 digits student number 089.
Okay, so what are we going to discuss in this video, guys?
We're going to discuss about Hamlet by Shakespeare.
Oh, woo! You know, when people say Hamlet, most of us immediately think of that one famous line. What is that line? To be or not to be. It's like the most quoted phrase in all of English literature. But Hamlet is way more than just that one line.
Yeah, it's crazy how a play written more than 400 years ago and still feel alive today. Like the emotions, the doubt, and the moral questions, they are still so human.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's not just an old play, and it's a reflection of how people think and feel even now.
Oh wow, exactly. I think, and that's probably why Hamlet is considered one of Shakespeare's greatest achievements, not just in terms of story, but also in how deeply it explores the human mind.
True.
It's almost like Shakespeare knew how people think long before psychology even existed.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Hamlet is basically about a prince who has to deal with betrayal, revenge, and grief, and moral confusion. But the real focus isn't the revenge plot, but it's his inner conflict, how he overthinks everything, and how that leads him to tragedy.
Yeah. Right, it's like the play becomes the mirror of human
Indecision.
Yes. And Hamlet's always acting and asking questions. What's the right thing to do in this life? Why do we suffer this life?
We don't know.
What does it mean to exist in this life? And
Me.
those are some questions people still ask till today.
Yeah, that's what makes it timeless, I think, because the word around Hamlet might be the Chinese chord, but his thoughts and emotion are universal.
True.
It's not about kings and queens, it's also about being a human. Yep.
Period. And Shakespeare delivers all that using the most beautiful language and the most confusing too. And every speech feels poetic but also meaningful at the same time. Even his jokes or puns are still loaded with a lot of emotions and philosophy.
Yeah, I think that's part of Shakespeare's genius.
True.
The way he combines poetry, drama, and psychology. He doesn't just tell a story, but he makes you feel the characters' thoughts.
Yeah, and that's why Hamlet has become such a big deal in Western culture.
Period.
It shaped how later writers built complex characters and how audiences expect stories to explore human thought. It's not just entertainment, it's a cultural history.
Yeah, true, exactly. And that's what we are exploring today.
Yes.
The legacy and the significance of Hamlet and how it changed literature, how it speaks to human nature, and why it's still relevant up until today.
So basically, we'll be looking at Hamlet from 3 angles. The first one is artistic significance, the second one is thematic significance, and the last one is cultural or historical impact.
That's right. Let's start with the artistic side. How Shakespeare created something so powerful that it is still inspire writers, actors, and even filmmakers today. So, when we talk about Hamlet's artistic significance, I think the first thing that comes to mind is how Shakespeare uses language. Like, he doesn't just write dialogue, it's poetry that reveals emotions, thought, and conflict all at once.
Totally, totally. His command of language is insane. Every line feels layered, like there's always more meaning under the meaning. Even a single word can sound beautiful and also philosophical at the same time. And that's why actors love performing Hamlet. Because the language gives them so much work, so much things to work with.
Right, it's not just what Hamlet says, it's what he says it, how he says it. And his soliloquies, for example, gives us direct access to his thoughts. And that was something new in Shakespeare's time. He basically invented a way to show to the audience what's happening inside a character's mind.
Yeah, like when Hamlet says, to be or not to be, that is the question. He's not just talking about living or dying, he's struggling with the whole idea of existence, of what it means to act or to remain passive. It's so deep.
Yes, true.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that the audience is pulled into that inner debate. It feels almost intimate, like we're inside of his own head. And it is something no one else at that time was doing in a theater.
And that's what makes a play so philosophically rich. Yes, that's the word. And Hamlet isn't just a prince. He's like a representation of human thought itself. And he doubts, he fears, he questions, and he reflects. You can analyze him from so many angles, as a philosopher, as a poet, even as a person that having depression.
Why are you looking at me while you're saying that?
Yeah. And I think every interpretation can be right in its own way. Some see him as overthinking and indecisive. Others see him as morally aware and trapped by conscience. Shakespeare made a character so complex that people are still debating his motives centuries later.
And it's not only the character though. The structure of the play itself is innovative. It's not strictly linear. Like Shakespeare weaves in layers of meaning through subplots like Polonius and his family or the play within a play scene, which all mirrors Hamlet's internal struggle.
Yeah, that play within a play is absolutely genius. Right.
Yeah.
And Hamlet stages a performance to catch his uncle's guilt, and it becomes and it becomes this super meta moment, and the audience watches Hamlet watching the play, and through that we watch him confront truth
And deception.
and deception. It's like art reflection of art on art.
Yes, exactly. I really agree with you because I think it's self-reflective, which is something we usually associate with modern storytelling, but Shakespeare was already doing it in the
Back in the days?
16th century.
Oh.
16th.
Yeah.
That's why Hamlet feels both classic and modern at the same time.
And that's probably why so many people call Hamlet the first modern tragedy.
Yeah.
It doesn't follow a simple formula where fate destroys the hero. Instead, it's about inner conflict, the mind versus the world, which is crazy, morality versus desire, which is also crazy.
Yeah, and even pacing adds to that. The play makes its time, and it doesn't rush, I think. And you can feel Hamlet's hesitation in the rhythm and in the rhythm of the language itself. And it's like Shakespeare used the structure to mirror his state of mind.
Yeah. It's wild to think how ahead of his time Shakespeare was. Through Hamlet, he turned the stage into a space for exploring the human vices, something we now see as completely normal in art and film. Yeah.
So,
What do you think?
so in short, Hamlet's artistic significance lies in three things: the mastery of language, the depth of the character, psychology, and the innovative narrative structure that allows audiences to experience thought as a drama.
Yeah, and Shakespeare, I think, wasn't just writing for entertainment because how Shakespeare's experimenting with how storytelling could explore the human soul.
Yeah, and that's what made Hamlet so revolutionary. It wasn't just a play, it was a new way of understanding art, emotion, and identity.
Period. Period. Alright, so we have talked about the artistic side and how Shakespeare's craft changed literature. Now, let's move on to the next part: Hamlet's literary legacy and how it influenced other writers and future storytelling.
Do you know what's crazy?
No, I'm not.
No. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys. Even though Hamlet was written in the early 60s, it completely changed how people wrote and understand drama after that. And it's like the momentum and when literature became psychological.
Exactly, yeah. Before Hamlet, most tragedies were only about big external conflicts, like wars, revenge, destiny, and all of that stuff. But Shakespeare turned the focus inward, and suddenly the hero's main struggle wasn't with the outside world, but with his own thoughts, which is crazy, by the way.
Yeah. Hamlet kind of redefined what a tragic hero could be. Instead of being doomed by fate, Hamlet is destroyed by his own mind, by hesitation, overthinking, and guilt. It's super modern when you think about it.
Right, and that shift influenced so many writers after Shakespeare, actually. Like, we wouldn't have the psychological depth of characters in Tchaikovsky, or the inner monologue in Virginia Woolf, or James Joyce. If Hamlet hadn't opened that door.
And even the structure of literature changed. Shakespeare's use of soliloquies, where characters talk directly to the audience about the inner feelings, became this blueprint for future writers. It's the reason we have inferior monologue and stream of consciousness narration in the current modern fiction.
Yeah,
Exactly. You could even argue that Hamlet is the ancestor of modern storytelling.
Yeah.
It shows that internal conflict can be just as dramatic as external action.
Yeah, and I think the influence doesn't stop with books, actually. Hamlet also changed how plays and performances were done. The way Shakespeare combined poetry with realism made theater more emotional, more intellectual, and audiences weren't just watching the show; they were thinking.
They were thinking, yeah. And that tradition continued up until this day. From romantic writers in the 18th and 19th centuries to modern playwrights like Samuel Beckett, for example, they all owed something to Shakespeare's model. Beckett's Waiting for Godot, for instance, has a lot of Hamlet's existential lore inside of it.
Yes.
That's so True, because Hamlet basically set the standard for tragic depth and introspection. It's like every writer after him had to wrestle with that influence, either to imitate it or to rebel against it.
And what's amazing is how flexible Hamlet is. Every generation reads it and differently. Some see it as a revenge tragedy, and others see it as a philosophical play, others as a psychological study. And the adaptability is what keeps it alive.
Yeah, it's kind of like a literary mirror where each era finds something new in it. Like in the 20th century works, critics saw it through a Freudian lens. In the 21st century, people analyze it through gender or postmodern theories, and it just never stopped being relevant. Like
And we can't forget how much it inspired other creative works. There are countless adaptations, films, novels, operas, even The Lion King is basically Hamlet with animals.
Wait, is it?
True. Simba is Hamlet. Scar is Claudius, and Mufasa is the ghost of the father.
Oh my god.
Lion King is Hamlet.
Lion King
Is Hamlet. It's a perfect example of how Hamlet's structure still works today, right? And it's timeless.
And in pop culture too, people quote it all the time, like something is rotten in the state of Denmark, or to thine own self be true. Even people who haven't read the play use Shakespearean lines without even realizing it, which is amazing.
That's how the influence Hamlet goes. It's not just in literature; it is in our everyday language and storytelling. Hamlet became part of our cultural DNA.
Yeah, and we can say that Hamlet's literary is a legacy because it lies how it transferred storytelling from action-driven plots to thought-driven ones, and how it inspired centuries of writers to explore the inner world of the inner characters.
Exactly. It's not just attacks from the past, it's a foundation. You can trace so much of Western literature and modern narrative psychology back to Hamlet.
True.
Yeah.
And that's why its influence never fades. Every time a story explores identity, creed, or existential doubt, it echoes Shakespeare's ideas.
Yeah. Period. Alright, now that we have talked about how Hamlet shaped literature and storytelling, maybe we can move on to what it actually means. Deeper themes makes it powerful and timeless.
Yeah, like how it explores human nature, morality, and all of those philosophical questions.
Exactly. Let's dive into that, the thematic significance of Hamlet.
Gila ini masih banyak ya. Mesin apa lagi cok? Goblok lah. Cultural, habis cultural apa?
Anjir, udah nggak Ju?
Tujuh conclusion.
Sama bang?
No,
Ini kita masih 3 nggak?
educational
Keempat
and
kita.
iya. Ini kita
Kita keempat.
Kita masih 3.
Ini
empat.
Iya.
Lu jangan
Iya,
pakai gue.
baru 3 kalau
Iya, kita ini mau keempat.
Okay, so when we talk about themes in Hamlet, I think that's where the play really gets its emotional and philosophical power. It's not just about story about revenge again, but it's a story about being a human.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a very big question we could ask about life. And it's somewhere in this play, like life and death, morality, madness, truth, identity, love, betrayal, and it's all there in Hamlet.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that Shakespeare doesn't give us clear answers. He just lets those questions exist inside the characters. Like Hamlet is not just struggling to avenge his father, he's struggling to understand why people do what they do and what's right or wrong. And that's probably why Hamlet will never stop being studied. It's not a play you finish, it's a play you keep revisiting because it always means something new depending on where you are in life.
Yeah.
And then the next discussion is about Hamlet in education and academic influence. It's probably one of the most studied plays in the world. I mean, from high school to university, everyone has to read Hamlet at some point.
Yeah, and it's like the ultimate example for everything. Literature, psychology, philosophy, even performance studies. And teachers love it because it's open to interpretation. Yes, and there's always something new to analyze about it.
Totally. Like in literature classes, it's used to teach things like tragic structure, soliloquy, symbolism, but then in psychology, people connect Hamlet's behavior to ideas from food or laughter. Repression, the most complex unconscious conflict.
Yeah.
So, after going through all of this, the themes, characters, history, and influence, I think we can all agree that Hamlet is more than just a tragedy. It's a mirror to the human condition.
Yeah, it's not only about a prince or revenge, it's about questions we all face till today, like truth, morality, purpose, identity, and how we deal with pain and uncertainty.
Exactly. That's why even after 4 centuries, people still relate to it. Hamlet's confusion, his overthinking, his search for meaning, that's all of us at some point in life.
Yeah, true.
So in the end, Hamlet isn't just a story we study, it's an ongoing conversation, and by talking about it, we keep those legacy alive.
Yeah, we'll say to be or not to be. I guess Hamlet will always be.
Yeah, and that's a perfect way to end Hamlet Still Lives, not just on the stage, but in how we think, question, and understand ourselves.
Yeah, true.
And that's all from group 3.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for watching. And if we say something that is offensive or anything, we apologize for that.
Thank you for watching.
Bye bye.